Studio. We're pleased to welcome now former Governor of Mississippi, Phil Bryant. Governor, good to have you, sir.
Gerard, good to hear you this morning. It's a beautiful day in America.
Yes, sir, it sure is. So, where are you today? You're in West Palm, right?
I am in West Palm. I absolutely am. Tired, but it was a long night, but what a beautiful morning it was down here in West Palm, Florida. As the president took the stage last night, that must have been 2 a.m. We sort of were in that bubble and lost a little track of time, but I knew it was much later than I normally stay up.
Yeah.
I'm not a good 2 a.m. guy. If I'm up at 2 a.m., somebody's normally sick.
Yes, sir.
But America got healed last night for the time being.
You know, the most astonishing aspect of this to me, Governor, is winning the popular vote, which tells me that the Democrats try to make this about identity politics, this demographic, that demographic. I'm so tired of hearing that. We got to get the Latinos and the black males and the white this and the educated. I just don't think they get the universal language here is that people are sick of the inflation. They're sick of this woke nuttiness. They're sick of losing our status on the global stage. And, of course, the border being wide open, which has affected everybody in the country. That's what's at play here.
And look, you summed it up perfectly. America is still America. It doesn't matter. We don't, in the Republican Party, and look, President Trump did this over and over again, we don't identify groups, just you're here and you're here and you're here, and we put walls in between them. We know that all of America was hurting every time they went to the grocery store.
Yeah.
It didn't matter if you're Latino, African-American, Chinese-American. When you went to the grocery store and you bought groceries, you knew you were hurting. And at the same time, the left was saying, "Oh no, everything's fine. Well, the economy is wonderful. Don't pay any attention to what you see.
Yeah.
Pay attention to what we tell you." And they lurked so far to the left. All the transgender ideology, which was almost religion with the left. The open borders, 20 million people. Think about the job that the President Trump has before him just now, and I can assure you he's up working this morning and has been up working to try to not only secure that border, but we've got to find those criminals that cross that border.
First and foremost. Yes, sir.
And identify them and get them out. I heard one reporter ask J.D. Vance, she kept drilling him, are you going to separate families? When you deport them, you're going to separate families. And he said, well, let's just find the criminals first.
Yeah.
And get them out of here. How about that?
Absolutely.
How about we start with the crooks that came in here from all over the world? How about the 30,000 Chinese nationals that came across?
Yeah.
Maybe we can get them back to China in a due time. So a lot of work ahead.
Under the false pretense of seeking asylum, which you knew that was ridiculous, and folks just looked the other way because the current president told them to.
That's right. They were importing voters.
There's no doubt.
Believe if we could get them in, if they could get them in here quick enough, get them registered to vote, move them to the areas where they needed those, particularly in some congressional districts where they needed the votes, if they could get them in, get them identified in blue states, and get them elected, help them get elected with Democratic office holders in the United States Congress. And I think we see some of it. But the great news is we knew about it last night. I mean, we don't have to go to the Supreme Court. There's not going to be 100 lawsuits. It was just, we kept saying, make it too big to rig. And let me tell you, the ground game for the Trump organization was phenomenal. To the point where we had door knockers in Michigan that spoke Arabic.
Wow.
In the Muslim community. So when they knocked on the door, they spoke the same language. And people kept saying, how in the world is he getting the Muslim vote? We had Muslim door knockers.
Yeah, really smart.
Communicating the same message from Donald J. Trump was being communicated there in Michigan, in the Muslim community, as it was in South Louisiana.
Wow,
It
that's
didn't
awesome.
change.
Governor, what do you make of Kamala Harris yet to make any public statement? Do you know, has she called the president? What's going on there?
Our understanding is it's going to be this afternoon.
Right.
Now, look, her office right now is probably in total disarray. As you see, she didn't come out last night. There was some small group outside that she sent an assistant campaign manager out to tell them she won't be out here tonight. Now, I would imagine there's a lot of blame game going on inside that organization if she's got anybody left around her just now. But hopefully she'll call the president. We need to return to some normalcy, Gerard.
Yes, sir.
Where every election I ever had, when I was fortunate enough to win, our opponent called, and we had a calm, friendly conversation about that election. That needs to happen. I don't know if Joe Biden is going to welcome President Trump into the White House as was a normal practice. I hope it does occur. But we need to get back to those types of ideals in America as a transition of power occurs. I'm just glad that we haven't seen any breaking of windows or
Yes.
burning of buildings, anything like that, which could have happened. But the answer is we're not sure. We hear 4:30. The vice president is going to have a press conference, and I think we'll make some announcements then, and hopefully be very conciliatory in her loss.
Governor, I know that you spoke to the president constantly throughout the campaign. Have you had, and I know that's putting it lightly, but have you had an opportunity to have a one-on-one conversation with him yet, sir?
I have not. We are friends, but I try to be very careful. Last night was a night for his family,
Sure,
for his close friends there at their home and inside Mar-a-Lago. So look, he doesn't. My phone has not stopped ringing, texts and emails. I've got a lot of new friends this morning, and one of the things that I don't want to do is overemphasize my relationship. The president is a friend. I've known him since 2016. I've been with him many times. In friendly environments. I've sat with him out at Mar-a-Lago as he was playing music on his iPad, and we were just enjoying the evening. So he is a dear friend. But now the transition will occur. I did last night, obviously, interact with a number of people that I believe I know are now in the transition phase. I was particularly encouraged to hear that Elon Musk is going to continue. As I told one member of the team last night, I may be one of the few people around that has conducted a performance audit, as Elon Musk and the president is talking about doing, and cutting the waste, fraud, and abuse in the federal government. If I could be of help in those types of areas, I'd certainly enjoy doing that. I don't want a job. I'll be 70 years old in December. One of the things that politicians have to do is get out of the way. I don't ever plan on running for another elected office, obviously, but we've got a great team of young leaders and, of course, experience like Roger Wicker, who will more than likely, I think, will be Armed Services Committee chairman in the United States Senate. And what about the Senate picking up seats in West Virginia, Ohio, Montana, and I believe we're going to pick one up in Pennsylvania.
I do too.
We're leading there, so just let that sink in. At Ohio, we beat a long-term Democratic senator there. We're going to win Pennsylvania, Montana, a long-term Democrat who came to Washington to be a Democrat, went back to Montana to pose as an independent. So it is now time for the president to govern.
Yeah.
He was very conciliatory last night in his remarks. I think emotionally, and look, Donald Trump is not one to show his emotion, never in public. But I detected last night with his family there behind him he felt the emotion of the hard work. Now, he hadn't slept in probably 72 hours.
Yeah.
But for him to be able to have that presence about him at 2:30 in the morning,
I agree.
To know that the weight of the nation rests upon his shoulders now.
We got to go, Governor, but I'll just make a final comment. You and I were at the RNC together. Didn't you feel like that the speech you made at the RNC and the speech you made last night were quite similar based on what you were just saying?
They were. And I think you're going to see more of that. I think you're going to hear him talk about binding up the wounds of the nation. He knows that he got votes from every community across America, and he's going to represent all Americans.
I agree. Former Governor Phil Bryant has been our guest. Thanks so much for calling in, Governor. Appreciate it. We'll talk soon. Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye.
We're coming right back, folks, in the Element Wealth studio.